to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, it's another doubleheader. We are talking The Masked Singer and The X Factor. Going to be a bit more heavy on The X Factor, though. We are going to be doing a deep dive. Joining me for this conversation and discussion is my co-host, Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing okay. This show was awful. I mean, you were sending me gifs of Elmo and Hal and things like that. And I kind of didn't disagree with them, which is kind of a sad state of affairs. But let's just get it over with.
I said this to Eric before we go live. I am not ever usually this cynical. Like, America's Got Talent kind of brings it out of me because it's just so overproduced. But these two shows, and ironically enough, it's not The Masked Singer so much. It's weird. There's got to be a competition we have to have here on Reality Hour where after these double headers we pick which show won. I think without a doubt The Masked Singer won this week.
I would agree.
I mean, first of all, it's got Daughtry.
That's it. That's enough.
We will talk about that later, but my God, I didn't watch the show live, but I saw the results, and as soon as I saw the results, oh my God, this is really, really bad. So I don't even know. Tell me what happened. What are the results, Eric?
Let's save them for the end. Let's save them for the end. Let's build to it, shall we?
So, okay. I just want to say another note for these shows is that I want to get invested. I like these shows. I like the contestants, but this is not the Masked Singer gets a pass, but the X Factor is just so bad. Everything is just the results, the bad sing. It's not just reality show singing level bad. It's just in general level bad.
It's bad for a karaoke bar kind of. Bad.
There's one contestant.
If you did if you went up to a karaoke bar and started singing the way, let's say Vinnie Jones or Bashir started singing, they wouldn't put up with it. I mean, it's singing that we should be put in a corner, like Slazak said on Reality Check years ago. You should be put in a corner if you're gonna sing this song like this badly.
The thing is, for me, is that the show has hit a point. This is very rarely happen for me, where it's hit a point where it's got to such a low level that it's amazing. That's where I am kind of at. That's where I am as a viewer, where it's so bad that I love it. I've fully gone full nuclear. I've embraced the train wreck that this kind of is because I don't think it deserves better. Everything. There's one contestant who forgets his lines and then is apologizing while he's still supposed to be singing, and he made it through. It's amazing. It's brilliant television. At some point, you gotta just throw out the immersion and the investment and just kind of enjoy it for the train wreck that it is, and that's where I'm at.
It's the most entertaining car crash in the world.
And it's sad because like I said, I want to enjoy these shows because I love them, but they're just this will go down, I believe, as the worst sang episode I think I've ever seen on any of these shows, and I'm being 100% being totally honest.
I'm pretty much going to agree, and I'm going to include audition episodes.
I think not only that, I think it had the worst performance I've ever. There's one contestant who was terrible, and I think he topped himself in terms of badness. That's a talent.
Here's the thing, I still think Lazaro is worse, but it's close.
I have so many thoughts for this episode, but before we can actually do the deep dive, there is one note, kind of a major note that I think we should touch on ahead of time. There was some breaking news this week about the X Factor. Originally, the plan was that there was going to be a celebrity season, not a celebrity season. That's what we're watching. I was trying to forget it
right now, but we're going to be suffering through an all-star season afterwards in December. Nope, Simon pissed off all the all-stars.
What happened? Tell me what happened, Eric.
All the people who you'd want to see on an all-star season hate Simon now, so they wouldn't do it.
Why do they hate Simon?
because he dropped them all from his record label over the years.
It
And
is
didn't
kind of
take
like
them.
it's kind of like a sweet revenge. Like
Yeah,
who was supposed to be there?
I mean, in theory, you'd like all the winners to be there, but like all but one of them are no longer on his label. Two of them actually.
How hard
So,
could it be, like, to get an all-star season together?
depends
I feel
on
like American Idol could. Well,
how
I
good a
wouldn't want
job can be
that.
done to piss all the people off. That is the question.
All right, so there's
I
not going
mean,
to
it's not.
be.
There's no All Star season, but we're doing an X Factor version of the La Banda, which was a Mexican show. They actually found a pretty successful boy band in Latin America, and it's crossover a bit called CNCO. And now we're gonna do that in the UK.
So it's going to be called X Factor, or is it going to be
It's called
something
X
else?
Factor the band.
I mean, can't be much worse than this.
It'll be much better than this, I think. It'll be much better because it's regular people again, no celebrities. They're having auditions again, and hopefully we'll find a successful group out of it.
All right, well, we will stay tuned on that. But where we left off on the X Factor last week, we lost Ricky Lake and Olivia Olson, and
I think
still,
this week's results were worse.
I think this week's results. It was.
Well,
I don't want to say I called it, but I didn't think it would go down this early.
Sorry, you did. None of us did.
All right, well, let's start to dive into these.
Her.
What was that?
We'll talk about results when we get to her.
All right, let's kick off the night, which on paper, ironically enough, might have been in my top 4 or 5 of the week. Not the Masked Singer, just on the X Factor. It's Johnny. He is doing a really like jazzed up kind of like big band version of "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. Pretty different arrangement. Look.
I don't think it was arranged at all, really.
It was. This song is a heavy like rock song, and he kind of made it like big band.
Rearrange it?
Yeah, it was like a total rearrangement. It kind of like had the same beats, but it was a total flip. Like it was big band. It was like jazzy. I was digging it. I was like,
it sounded very similar to the original to me, and I felt like honestly I didn't even pick up on the fact that it was a rearrangement because to me it seemed like the same thing. And for me, without the novelty of a strikingly new arrangement for him, his weak voice is a much bigger problem.
I mean, yes, but everyone except one person left in the competition has a weak voice, I think.
I
don't think he deserved.
He did not deserve to go home this week. Not a million.
He didn't even deserve. He shouldn't even have been like. He was in my top % of the week. Like I thought it was because this is just if this was a regular season, I would say like his vocals are just not enough. But this is the X Factor, one of the worst seasons ever, and I thought it was good. Like I was like it's not amazing, but like I was enjoying it. I was like this is a cool like take on the song that's like I've heard 1,000 times.
I am gonna correct you on one thing you just said. You said one of the worst seasons ever. For X Factor.
All right, the worst X Factor season.
Yes, there we go. That's better.
Do you think we'll get a season 2?
A celebrity? Fuck no. I hope not.
I mean, Simon Cowell's running out of ideas, I think. Or friends,
I hope
honestly.
we get back to the normal show next year, but we won't.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I only watched the show through YouTube clips. Were there safety seats this week?
Yes, there were.
Who got them this week?
I'll tell you as we go.
All right. So, Johnny, unfortunately,
Bye, Johnny.
Home. How did he go home?
Particularly when Martin was in the bottom 2 with him.
And what sane person? All right, you could say what you want about Johnny. You could say his vocals aren't good. You could say you think his arrangements are trash. At least he remembered the words.
Yeah.
Like, at least that's like grading the difference between like an F minus and an F. Like Johnny was nowhere near an F, but I said like if you want to say everything is bad about him, at least he remembered his words.
Yep.
Oh my god! Like when I was watching this, I was like, "This is a bad sign right here." I saw the results because I saw the results before I saw the performances, and afterwards I was like, "That is, I'm not gonna be okay with this season."
Okay, let's talk about the. I think let's talk about one of my top three worst of the week.
All right, it is Jenny Ryan. She is the reality
No,
competition show.
is she one of my top three worst? Yeah, she's
Top
in
three
my
worst.
bottom three. Yeah, she's in the bottom three this week
All right.
for me.
In my notes, I gave this an A for guts, D minus for execution.
A D minus is actually I wouldn't give it an F, but I'd give it a D minus as well. Yeah, I thought last week her performance was pretty good. I thought this week she attended some big notes and she was way off on most of them. She just couldn't handle them. Um, it was rough. This was hard to watch.
I mean, she went for it, but you gotta.
Guess what she got?
She got. I don't even know.
She
What,
got
Eric?
a safe seat. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I
I just wanted
mean,
to mess with you there.
I will say though, the most entertaining part of the show, like I don't usually watch the judges' critiques, but the judges trying to pretend that these performances are something special. It's the most. That is like quality entertainment. Like watching. What did they say for this? Like Simon said, like there was a huge contrast. Louis said she nailed every note. Like
I laughed so hard.
like it's. I feel like they know, and they're just trying to like. It's like sugarcoating something, but the sugar isn't staying, so they're just throwing more sugar. Like it's good. It's good. I promise.
Yep.
This was It wasn't the worst. Well, it was bad.
But there were two that were worse.
But at least she tried. Like
Remember her lyrics, so gave her credit to that.
oh my god.
That's where we're at, people. Okay.
What grade would you give this, Eric?
A D.
All right. Let's move on to ironically another one of the better performances. No Love Lost. They are I put this band in like the most forgettable of the forgettable genre. Like we get on all these shows.
The genre of who cares.
It's like I've seen this group so many on America's Got Talent it's like they're made in a factory. Like every season of these shows, like a new one just gets popped out, and they're gonna be on the show, and they're not gonna make it very far, and then it's just gonna fall apart. So yeah, they're doing honestly the best vocal performance I think so far. What did you think?
There were two before? Yeah, absolutely. So they did an EDM arrangement of "What I Lied to You," which is like a Motown type song, and it's better than the first two, I thought, but it wasn't special. I just thought
no, Eric, you can't say nothing special. Like on this season, like nothing special is better than
boops to a song that doesn't need them.
I thought it was like I would call it, what's the word? Like generally like blandly entertaining. If that's like I would enjoy it, but I would not remember it.
I agree with the first word that you used, which is bland. Entertaining, not so much.
But on this season, I got to get my entertainment where I can. So this one gets like, it doesn't get a thumbs up, but it gets like a this. Like it's almost a thumbs up, but it's I can't get
sideways for me.
I can't get invested in the show, but I feel that in this group because it's nothing special. It's just I've seen this act so many times, and it's nothing.
And guess
what? It's just
they
the
got?
Same thing. It's the
guess what
same.
They got?
What they got the safeties. Well, you know what? I understand that honestly. I mean,
they got the first safe seat of the night.
I can understand that because
if you don't know who got the safe seats, you're gonna love who got the last safe seat.
I'm afraid to ask, but let's continue with. At last, we've come to it, Eric. We've hit the low. of the lows. Victoria. And I made a prediction quite a few weeks ago when we were doing the draft. I did not pick her first. I had the choice to go first. And I believe that Victoria, of this batch of contestants, is the best singer. Not just like the best singer, I think like objectively the best singer. She is very talented. And in like a just world where everything is right, she would have won. But I have watched these shows so many times, and I know that a singer this good doesn't win. It's just an unfortunate truth. So I was thinking we would lose her 6th, maybe 4th. Maybe like she'd be like a shock boot at 7th. No, Eric. She went home in 10th place?
11th place.
What? How did this... I don't even know where to begin for this part. I'm honestly like lost for words.
I'm going to read what I wrote in my recap because it sums it up perfectly. When I saw it for results, I assumed Victoria forgot all her lyrics, or hit a horribly off note, or took a dump on the stage, or something else. But nope. What she did is she delivered a fully competent performance.
Has the world gone nuts, Eric? How did she go? Not only did the person who forgot his word, like, she is miles ahead of these people. She went home. Who is voting for Vinny? Who is voting for the guy who forgot his words?
I don't know.
She remembered her words, and not only did she remember, she gave a like B+ performance, and I'm saying that like on my, like on an American Idol season, I would have given this a BB+.
Yeah, me too.
Which is the second best performance of the night. And I feel like no one is talking about it. It's such a travesty, Eric.
Okay, let's move on. But because I'm gonna make you.
How did she not get the safety seat?
We'll get there. That's where we get the fun part. That's the fun part. Because she's in the overs category. So keep this in your mind. Couple more.
Well, there's only other choices are Martin and Vinny, and both are horrifying.
You'd think, but keep it in your mind. Keep it in your mind, because you're gonna be so pissed when you hear what actually happened. Okay, so I'm expecting a big rant for you next. Okay, next up, Max and Harvey. Let's skip them.
All right, Max and Harvey. It's good. Like it's blandly enjoyable. Like it's.
I think this is the best of the groups.
I mean, would I ever be interested in hearing like a postseason out? Probably not. Like, I mean, it's they're not terrible, and that means they're good. That makes sense.
Well
like, they turned in a B
perfectly
performance.
passable performance.
A perfectly safe, nothing special, but not a train wreck as most of these people are. And good job, Max. Like, you get a thumbs up. I
thought last week was better than this week for them. The judges all disagreed. I don't care.
And Victoria's not. Who's gonna be in our finale?
We'll get there. Okay.
All right. So Max and Harvey, they get a B-, honestly. So we move on to Kevin McHale. Last week, I called his performance of the song, it was like Good as Hell.
Yeah.
I thought it was really bad. And I have a confession to make. I actually rewatched it a couple of times.
Oh my god.
Didn't think it was as bad as I first thought.
I still reminds it was bad.
I didn't think it was.
It was Nick Mitchell as Norman Gentle saying, "And I am telling you, level bad."
I don't think it was that bad. Maybe it's just because I actually like the song. Like it's a good song.
I like the song too.
I think I was like really harsh last time. I said like I hope I never hear. I went back, I listened to it, like I was like it was playing in my head. I was like, it's a good song. Like I was.
Original.
I actually ended up buying the original because it's like a fun song. And I didn't think, maybe I was just like out of it. I'm not always correct in my assessments. I will say, like, sometimes it's just the heat of the moment.
I thought I thought it was the most hilariously bad performance of last week. This week was way
No.
better. Yes, this week was way better.
All right. So let's talk this week. So he is performing. I don't have it in my notes. What song is he doing?
I don't know. It's a song.
All right. He sings a song. He's not reciting poetry. He is singing. And I thought it was all right. Like
Eh.
I thought
Here's what I thought. So I thought it was still not phenomenal. I thought the choreography for the dancers focusing on the legs was still really weird, like last week. It's like a running theme with him. Both the times we've been seeing dancers and we've been focusing on their legs for some reason.
well, he's
But
a dancer. Like, and he's a really good dancer. You could say what you want about like his vocals, but he's a really good dancer.
They weren't good. But he wasn't as bad as he was last week. And then, drum roll, he gets Louis' safe seat.
All right, I can understand that a little bit. I can actually understand that because I'm not as low as. All right, here's another thing. I have another prediction. I'm going to put this out there, and when I'm either right or wrong, you can all make fun of me. I think he's doing much better in the voting than we think.
We'll see.
I not only that, I think there's a chance we see him at finale night.
Nope. He's
Nope.
American.
I don't know. I enjoyed this. I thought it was pretty good. It was solid. I mean, I think he needs to cut back on the dancing. I think we need like a ballad from this dude.
No.
I don't know. That's not fair though to say. Or like
I just don't like his voice. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, this was like a B for me. Like on the American Idol scale, I would have like the American Idol scale. I mean, like referring to a season that's not a train wreck. Like this would have gotten a B from me.
Okay.
What about you?
This would have
B minus.
A C for me. But I'm so excited to move on to the next act. I'm so excited for this.
You're making me nervous.
Oh, this is so fantastic.
Talk about TriStar. They're performing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which...
Well, one of them is performing it.
Yeah. The only reason I know the song, I've never actually heard someone, I think maybe like one or twice on one of these shows before. I only know it because when I was younger, I would read... when I was much younger, I would read Archie comics. And whenever someone was like in a dire situation, like something really bad is going to happen to them, they would like curl up in the fetal position and start singing the song. Like there's something bad, like maybe like Veronica is going to like hit Archie for finding out he was doing something bad. And he's just like starts singing the song. It's like that's the only reason I know it. Apparently, though, it's a big thing in the UK.
Maybe.
All right, Eric, why did you enjoy this so much?
I didn't enjoy the performance at all. I hated. I thought the performance was fine at best because luckily only one of them can sing, but he's the only one who sang, so it's fine. The other two were just standing there as eye candy. So the reason I'm laughing so much is because Simon begged for one of the other judges to give his act a safe seat, and Nicole did.
Huh. I mean, you can't blame her. Like that's her boss. Like the thing is, it's like a power imbalance because he is the show. Like, you know what I mean?
So yeah, instead of saving Victoria with her safe seat, she saved one of Simon's acts.
Yeah, remember that scene in the X Factor? It wasn't a scene. What was it? It was in the X Factor where it was like Demi Lovato had Cece Fry and Paige Thomas, and they both voted one of them out, and they went like, Simon, who are you going to vote for? Simon's like, no, I want to hear who Demi's going to vote for. He's like, what? And there was like this really awkward moment. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It wasn't between Cece Fry and Paige. It was the most piss me off elimination ever because I was rooting for Janelle Garcia.
Beatrice. No.
Who was it? Janelle Garcia. Who was my favorite that year. I used to love
Janelle Garcia.
She was my favorite that year. And
she
Simon
was so good.
Sent her home in the most dickish way.
Was it her and Cece?
Yes.
They were like my favorite that season. Like, Ironically enough, there's parts of the season that's reminding me. Like this season reminds me of that season where it's just.
That's not good. Okay.
Who's my CC this season?
Your CC is clearly Martin Bashir.
All right, we are not up to Martin. We will give him his. We will get to him, Eric.
We'll get to him in a second because he's the next contestant up.
TriStar for me. It's a C+.
It's a C- for me.
I mean, the one dude I was thinking he's all right. Nothing special. He's like the kind of voice that you might hear like. You wouldn't. It's the kind of voice that you might go, oh, that guy's good, and then you keep walking. Like it's if there's a busker singing.
Yeah, basically.
Like you would say like, oh, he's good, but you wouldn't stay to kind of watch anything else. And the other two don't even sing, so it's kind of.
I guess that's for the best.
I guess I don't even know.
Okay.
So here we go. It is Martin Bashir performing the worst performance in any of these shows I've ever seen. Like we can argue about the best performance.
I think if he remembered his lyrics, Vinny would have given him a run for his money this week.
This is a 1-2 punch of just. I was watching this and I honestly started to laugh.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I fast forwarded through most of this because I don't like watching trailers.
You have to watch it. It's just, it's amazing TV. He forgets.
I watched the judges try to be nice to him afterwards.
He's like, there's like this pause. It's like the Lazaro Arbos moment in Sugar Pie Honey Bunch in season 12, where like they pan to him and he's just like. Like that is where we are at. Okay. And I think I said this before. I don't think the last time I think I ever voted on any of these shows was for Jax on American Idol. I think I'm gonna vote for Martin.
You can't. You live in America.
You can't vote online?
No.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, he's performing easy, just to set the stage, by Lionel Richie, ironically enough. And it's just bad. He forgets the line, and he says it. He's like, I forgot the words. And then he starts apologizing, like, I am so sorry. You didn't see it, Eric?
I need to go back and watch it.
You need to watch. It is just like, it is everything going wrong at once. And I've gotten to the point where I'm just so wishing this season could be better that I've gone the full Elmo, like in the Hellfire, like where he's just like, well, I don't even know how to describe that meme. There's a meme of Elmo and he's like surrounded by.
It's in our episode artwork this week.
It's just that is this season for me. Like that is where I'm at. I am that Elmo who's just like dumpster fire times 10. I will say this though, Eric. I think this is going to be the most memorable performance of the season for me. Like
I hope not.
Well, we've lost Victoria. The whole season is riding on Megan's shoulders.
I hope she can deliver.
And the worst part is, there's another just as bad performance coming up. Like Martin somehow managed to top the awfulness of last season. I don't know how to get worse from here. Like, how does it get worse? Because that is where the season is going, where it just keeps getting worse. How can Martin top it in worseness?
I don't know. But I'm excited to find out.
There's nowhere else to go but up. All right, we're just gonna go through this group really quickly. It's V5. They're performing a mashup, Despacito and Mi Gente. Oh, by the way, Martin. Just one last thing. Martin gets an F minus for the first time.
It's never happened before.
I'm going to go 3 minus.
Okay.
I'm like, I've got another minus for next week that I'm
But you're saving up. Okay.
V5, they're performing a mashup, Despacito and Mahente. They are blandly okay. The ironic thing is they're not as interesting as Martin. Because what did you think about this group?
They're pretty good. They can dance. They'll make it to at least the semifinal, if not the final. Simon made me laugh out loud when he said we start comparing them a little next to One Direction. But then again, I remember watching One Direction on X Factor, and I thought they wouldn't do anything either. So what do I know?
I mean, this is celebrity season. Like, who knows if they're going to be together like 2 days after the season ends? Didn't this group like lose a member?
They're not really celebrities. They're just social media influencers. So we're shoved together into a group.
Like super.
They did lose a member already. Yes.
All right.
So presumably the other four are actually in it.
This gets a C+ for me, Eric.
I'd give it a B.
On
a curve, if I'm graving
on a curve. On a curve. They're all pulling weight for Martin. Now let's get back to the magic. Let's get back to
I think this might. Well, because I didn't watch Martin, I thought this was the worst performance I've ever seen on X Factor. Or
you can't. No, it should be. Unlike any other, it should be. But Martin forgot the words. I mean, like, say what you will about Vinny, at least you remember. They both made it through. How did they both make it through? Who is voting? What is happening?
The same people who voted for Brexit, and that's my political commentary of the episode.
I want him in the finale. I want Vinny in the finale. I want Martin and Vinny in the finale. I want Megan to go home next week. Because...
No, can't go with that. No.
I just want. It's just.
Vinny can make the finale, but Megan still has to win.
All right. Well, let's unpack this like a Christmas present. Let's start. Let's first.
Let's see what kind of dung Santa left in our package.
So to begin, we got to acknowledge the rapper. So the rapper is the song title. Wait, we're not even to the actual present, Eric. So what is the song title?
I'm not gonna touch this one. You go.
Lip Up Fatty. I think I've never heard like a song title, like aside from the Shia LaBeouf song. Like I've never heard such a ridiculously titled.
I think it might be the most obnoxious song title I've ever heard in my life.
What does that even mean? Lip Up Fatty? What does that mean? Is that like UK lingo? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. But, and then for performance, I couldn't describe it in my recap.
All right. We're opening the present. We've torn off the paper. Now we've gotten to the present, and it's the performance. And Martin is one of the worst performances I've ever seen on any of these shows. But Vinny is damn well making a run to try to like take that title. He's trying, but it's just they're trying to outdo each other.
Forget these stupid lyrics, and then it would have been. Then he would have had the worst performance ever. Genuinely,
there's no way they both go home next week, right? One of them is going to make it another round, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so the song, I think. The song actually included a lyric that I had to write down called "Don't Call Me Fat Mon."
All right, let's just throw this present
away. People join him, start jumping up and down, and then guess what happens at the end of the performance?
Standing ovation.
Icing on the cake is the standing ovation from all three judges.
What is happening?
I realized. And
the critiques from the judges.
I realized I'm no longer watching X Factor Celebrity. I'm watching X Factor Worst Case Scenario.
They have somehow Simon Cowell has entirely undone the meaning of a standing ovation. Like I do not. When he gives a standing ovation.
This performance alone, standing up for this performance, nullifies every standing ovation he's ever given anyone else.
It is. you get the next like incredible like Cody Lee singer on America's Got Talent, and he gets a standing ovation. He is now in the same category as Vinnie Jones. Like, that is something that is binding them together. They have gotten a standing ovation from one Simon Cowell. Do you remember when he used to go whole seasons and like when he gave one?
He gave one standing ovation in season 8 to Adam Lambert from Mad World. That was it. Those were the days.
When I was watching
and
this,
it was such a big shock that he stood up for anything back then.
It reminds me of from one of my favorite movies of all time, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. When they go to the restaurant and this guy, he looks at them and he says, "I weep for the future." That's what is going on here? But that's
back to serious X Factor for like a couple minutes now, shall we?
We only got. I feel like we should touch on James Arthur like at the end of this, just like as a palate cleanser.
Well, Megan too, but yeah.
Megan. So, God bless her. Megan is like, she's like an actress that has stumbled onto like the wrong set. It's like, imagine there's a Western movie and she's like a Disney princess. Like, she doesn't belong here. Like, she is something entirely different who belongs like somewhere else because she is
good.
Just so much. She's good. Not only good, she's borderline great. Like,
I think she is great.
So she's doing an original song. It's called Stronger, and it's lovely. It's lovely. It's an A- for me. It's not an A, but like I said, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at her. And I'm just like, what are you? You do not belong here. Like, you were so much better. It's like if they took an honor student and like put him in the lowest grade, like the remedial class. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like,
congratulations, you win.
But then then again, if she wins, it's like, well, first of all, I don't even, if she doesn't win,
then who does?
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Unless it's Kevin, because then I'll still win the draft. Like, it's really good, but I don't even have any like energy to be like, I'm emotionally drained like, from this episode.
I will say I liked it a lot, and I was happy that she was number 2 on iTunes last week. And yeah, I'm hoping she can have some success. Anywho,
we get James Arthur.
I love him. I've seen him live 3 times now, and I just bought my ticket to see him again in, I think, April or May next year. So, he's fantastic. He's the best winner the show's ever had. He's the best winner the show's ever had, I think. Did you watch his performance?
I watched it, and it was good. I'm not that into James Arthur's music. I loved his the one song he did, the one everyone knows, the guitar. Say you won't let go.
That's his least good song, but anyway.
I enjoy it. I really liked it.
I don't like that song. Anywho,
let's talk bottom 3. Oh my god.
Do we have to? We already did.
Victoria, Johnny, and Martin. I mean,
1 and a 3 deserve to be
there. I feel like we're in the Twilight Zone. Like, we gotta have the do. Mm-hmm. So I just want to ask Eric, where do we go from here? What's coming up? What
do I hope is coming up, or what do I think is coming up?
I want to hear both. Go ahead.
What I hope is coming up is that Megan wins in a landslide victory. Her single goes number 1, and she has actual success. I don't care who's against. Fuck if I know. What I think is gonna happen is Megan's gonna win. She'll have some success, but not as much as she should. And we'll have Vinny in the finale.
And I'll get to wear my crown.
Yeah, who cares?
All right. Let's
talk about Daughtry, shall we?
Let's talk about the better show. Like, not just better, but like by a couple of big steps. The Masked Singer. So, I actually thought there were like some really, really solid, good performances, and I think so. We're not going to go over the full show. We're just gonna. I think we'll touch on 3 points in total, and I think we can kind of agree on most of them. The big one is the dog is Daughtry.
And I can't wait.
Do you think he's gonna win?
I think he is now that Raven's gone.
We will talk about Raven in a second. So we get he's actually doing Love Runs Out by One Republic, which is like straight up his lane. And it
was fantastic.
He's really good. Like,
it was a fantastic performance. And my one regret is that because the Masked Singer has such talking over everything, I don't have a clean audio version of it covering that song, which is what I wanted.
Yeah, it's.
God, I would love to. I would put that on repeat if I didn't have Nicole Scherzinger and Robin Thicke talking over the whole fucking thing.
Weirdly, like I have memories like associated with his music. Like whenever I hear his voice, it weirdly like when I was in summer camp, everyone would play Daughtry. Like it was one of the biggest things. Everyone would be blasting his music, and it took me back to like those days. And it reminded me why I like these shows, why I watch them, and it's just so much fun to watch. Like he's awesome.
You see his tweet about not knowing what the Masked Singer is?
What if it's not him, Eric? What if like he pulls it off and it's like I don't know, like Paul Rudd or someone?
The only other person it could be would be Nick Fraudiani, and it's not him either.
What's Nick been up to since Idol ended?
He's on tour for a musical. I'm seeing him in December, so I'm excited for that.
That's awesome. That was a great season of Idol. That was the first time I ever went to a homecoming for one of the contestants.
Okay.
The funniest part though is like I'm watching this. I don't understand how anyone could not know it's Daughtry, if that makes sense. Like he has such a.
These judges are dumb enough that they'll just guess anybody.
Like it's so obviously him that I'm just like, come on. And what happens if he goes home in fourth?
We riot.
All right. Well, the thing is, in this episode, I'm nervous because we don't get the vote. We don't get to vote, and we don't get, like I say, it was pre-taped months ago, and I'm worried. He's so deserving to win that if he doesn't, like it's gonna be a real shame.
Yeah, basically.
So let's kind of talk about the other big thing, which Raven Simone, who
I thought was gonna win.
Were you she was on the show That's So Raven. Are you familiar with the show?
I've heard of the show. I've never watched the show.
Yeah, I didn't know she was such a good singer.
She was a Disney person. I had no idea.
But she's not just she's good. Like
yeah, she's really good.
Really good. Like she's on
like she's good enough that I'm shocked she got kicked off so damn early.
Was she on The View or something?
No.
She was on one of those like talk shows or something. But she's like good. Like I was watching this, I was like, I think like I'm gonna like this is the closest I'm coming, like aside for Daughtry, like the closest I'm gonna be to root for someone because Daughtry is just so good that it's like obvious that I'm going to. It's like whenever I watch these shows, there's usually two people. There's the person I want to win and like a personal favorite. Like Daughtry's the person I want to win, but like I have that warm spot for Raven, and she went home.
How?
I don't even know.
Never do I. I didn't watch any of hers, but twice those two, so I don't know. But
that's just how these shows are now. Like the last time, for as much as you might not be a fan of her, like Maddie Poppy, like that never happens. Like what happened afterwards is one thing, but on the show, like I miss those days, like when the right people win. Anyway, the final thing I want to talk about is just really quickly the Flamingo. Did you get a chance to watch this one?
No.
All right. Well, she is doing Never Enough, and ironically, they think like she's Fantasia.
Oh, I did see a bit of it. I saw a clip of it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought this was like from a vocal standpoint, I think the best performance of both these shows I think. Like, just solely, like, if I was to put a top 3 my favorite vocal performances, it
Daughtry's
would
number one
be
for me.
in no particular order. It would be Raven, Daughtry, and then a tie between like Megan and the Flamingo, who I don't even know who she is, honestly.
For me, it's Daughtry and Daughtry is the best on both shows easily.
Daughtry, Megan. I just love her. Like, I didn't even know like I could. Like, I never even. I don't know anything about her, but like I was very willing. I was like she hooked me, is what I can say. And then she went home.
Yep.
It's the 1-2 punch. It's like, you got me, and bam, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I want to say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox, or on my 2 websites, AdamSoapbox.com and AdamCVblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, Eric_Ascher on Twitter, EricAscher01 on YouTube.
I cannot wait for the X Factor this week. It's like, it's gotten to that point, Eric, where it's like you go through the mirror and everything starts to, you're looking at it in a different way.
Okay. Have fun. Bye, everybody.
Everyone, this was fun. If you made it to the end, you get a thumbs up.
You're a trooper medal from us.
All I can say is I cannot wait until the end of the season when I get to wear a crown. And if I don't, that is bad. Goodbye, guys. This was fun. Until next time. Bye.